Hi, I'm Darren Steele with eatmoveb.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make an extremely healthy, nutritious, and most importantly, absolutely delicious kale protein smoothie. Now, I also call this a greens protein smoothie for a number of different reasons. One, today I've got absolutely beautiful fresh kale. This is only half of what I got at the grocery store. I think they made a mistake. This is just beautiful kale. I have fresh baby cucumbers. I'm going to use a supplement by Genuine Health called Greens Plus. It's not something that you have to use, but I use 1 teaspoon. The recommended dose is 3. And I usually only use this in my shake, or sometimes I put it in a blender shaker bottle if I'm working out with a little bit of protein. It's a nice way to get some extra phytonutrients into my diet. I'm going to be using a whey protein isolate. This is by a company called Thorne FX. This is vanilla sweetened with stevia, which is a safe and healthy artificial sweet. Well, it's actually not artificial. It's not artificial in the sense that stevia does come from a plant, and it isn't showing to cause health issues like aspartame or other unnatural sweeteners. What I like about this protein blend, it is one of the few on the market that comes from cows that are not treated with hormones, and they're fed a diet that's free of genetically modified foods. I'm also going to be using my favorite brand of yogurt. It's called Saugeen County. Now, this is a non-homogenized whole milk organic yogurt. The reason I like that is because if I'm going to eat milk, and I don't drink milk, I only eat yogurt and cheeses, I want to use the whole milk unadulterated product. I also want to make sure that it's organic. And finally, I want minimal processing, because what I've found is that when I have a milk product like this yogurt that is a whole milk, I don't react to it. As soon as I start taking in something like a skim milk product or anything that has high temperature processing, I seem to have reactions to it. I'm going to use behind here an all-natural, fresh ground from the health food store peanut butter, so there's no added sugars or additional fats. I'm also going to use frozen mango that you can get at the grocery store. If you've got fresh mango, use it. What else am I going to use? I've got some water over here in my shaker drinker bottle. It's filtered. I just use a Brita filter. And that basically is it. Oh, one more thing. Ginger, fresh ginger root. Great for the digestion. The kale is going to give you lots of fiber. The cucumber is going to add a little bit more liquid. A lot of people look at these green shakes and they think, this is going to taste awful, but that's not the case. You actually hardly taste the cucumber and you hardly taste the kale in the shake. So I'm going to put this to the side because I have actually already washed these couple of leaves here, okay? Now, the stem is very fibrous and very hard, and all I'm doing is just pulling off the leaves. I'm gonna toss the stem in the organic recycling. You don't really want to eat the stem. It would be a little too hard to actually break down in digestion. So as you can see, it's just broken apart very nicely. I'm going to break it apart a little bit more, and I'm going to put it into my blender, break them a little bit more, grab up all the loose pieces, push it in there. And for the ginger, I'm going to take, today I want to have a lot of ginger, so I think I'm going to take about 3 slices of the root here, and I'm just going to cut it up a couple times. I don't bother taking the skin off the ginger. I know some people prefer to, but in this small amount, it doesn't bother me. I've got 1 cucumber that I'm going to use. Just take off the ends. And then I'm going to chop that up a couple of times. You know, I want to make it relatively easy for my blender here. Now, for the frozen mango, I'm just going to do this by sight. Toss a little bit in. I'm going to use about a cup. You can measure that out if you want to. If you want to use less mango, measure it out with half a cup. It's totally up to you what you want to do. So with the yogurt, again, I'm going to do this by sight as well because I've done this so many times I'm kind of used to it. I'm giving myself about a half a cup and I'm draining off a little bit of the liquid. And I'm going to take a nice big heaping amount of peanut butter. That's probably a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons. My greens, this product calls for 3 teaspoons for a serving. I'm only going to use 1. I never use 3 teaspoons anymore. I find 1 teaspoon a day is enough because I eat very healthy. And this shake alone with the cucumber and the kale is going to give you a lot of health benefits. So let's see, I want to make sure that I've got everything in here. The only thing I'm waiting on here is the protein. I want this to blend up first with the water, and while it's blending, then I'm going to put the protein in. Reason is often when I've put protein in my blender, I don't know about yours, it'll get stuck on the insides, and then I feel like I've wasted some of the protein powder. So let's pour out, I'm going to use this glass to drink out of, about 8 ounces, maybe about 230 milliliters of filtered water. That's what I'm going to start with because what I've got in here is still going to be very liquid dense. It doesn't look like there's a lot of water. What's drained down here is actually showing up as only about a cup of water. Looking for my lid. So bear with me because I'm going to turn the sound off and I'm going to blend this thing up. My little sound thing is down here. I'll just make funny faces while I'm blending. Okay, we're back. Did you notice I put this in while I was blending? I had to shake my little blender around a little bit. That would be one of the advantages of having a Vitamix blender. Those things are really powerful and their motors are, I don't know how many more times powerful than mine. And the way the blender bottle is made, and they may have like double up blades so that they can suck things down into the blades. So I have to gently shake things a little bit. What you may or may not have noticed is that I put a little bit more water in because I could see it wasn't coming down enough and I didn't have enough water to actually blend everything together. Once everything had blended together, that's when I started to slowly pour in the protein powder. And one more thing about the blending process. I started at the grating and blending level. Reason being is I don't want to wreck the motor, I don't want to wreck the blade. So I want to start this slowly, and once it starts going, then I put it up to about medium, and then I put it all the way up to the highest ice crush setting. So as you can see, this is a very green shake. Look at the consistency as I pour this. It's a little bit thick, but it is easily drinkable. It smells absolutely delicious. Oh my God, that tastes so good. Final thing before we wrap up here. When you make shakes like this or any kind of protein powder-based shake, always chew your shake. It's not water that you can just put in your mouth and swallow. You've seen what's gone in here. Just like if this food was on your plate, you need to chew it. And the reason you need to chew it is because that releases saliva in your mouth, which is, as you can see, I'm still swallowing. It's the first stage to activate digestion. This is really good. Cheers to your health. Darren Steele of eatmovebe.com, as always, eat well to be well.